What is up, guys? In today's video, we have an Inside the Mind style video. We're going to walk you through my thoughts and decisions as I play in Fortnite Zero Build. As always, if you guys do enjoy this video, find it helpful, informative, or interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you like to see more, and comment down below what you think of the medallions being vaulted, because if you guys were unaware, I believe 2 days ago, Friday evening, Fortnite vaulted the medallions. So you could still fight the queens, and you'll get a mythic weapon and the legendary slurp juice, but you will no longer get the medallions, and that makes these boss locations not as... I wouldn't say required to land at, but you get less of an advantage for landing at them as you did before. And I think that really opens up the rest of the map to be more desirable landing location. And so that's why we're going to be landing Supernova Academy this game, because it does have the gold drones. These gold drones were actually buffed at the start of this season, and they're very good now. It's just something that kind of went under the radar because the medallions were so incredible that it was like very much worth landing on them. And I do think these boss locations still have like some... They're still good spots, I think. And I still think a majority of my games I'll probably still be landing Demon Debris. I've seen a lot of people saying they're just pointless and useless now. But still getting a mythic weapon is quite good. And... what's it called? The amount of hero points you can get there really quick is nice as well. I wanted to land on that because I thought it was an AR instead of a shotgun, and I would rather land on like the mid-range weapon for like this type of fight. If I land here and somebody else lands there and we're like fighting right away, I would want to have the mid-range. 2 people under me. Unfortunately, I have no shield. I do want both these kills though. That one was an AI. I think they might both be AI with how much I've just been walking around, but you never know with Fortnite players. Yep, told you, you never know. With these changes though, I still think it is very much worthwhile to try to get to A tier as fast as possible, to try to get into the exotic weapon bunkers. The exotic weapons are still incredible, and the sheer amount of loot you can get there I think is really nice for getting you mobility. And that's one of like the struggles with the changes, is that mobility is harder to get with the I messed up. I'm just gonna shock on this guy though. With the shockwave launcher being vaulted and shockwaves being the only mobility item, it's like harder to get mobility, and it's harder to stay like topped off on mobility, because with the shockwave launcher, it going off rockets made it to where, you know, once you got one, you were good for the remainder of the game. And that's not the case with shockwaves anymore. So mobility is definitely much more of like a struggle with the changes they made on Friday. And these drones, as I said, they have a lot of loot. I'll get up there in a moment and show you how much I just got from that. But I want to capture this point. They did buff the point capture, and they made it to where it gives you more hero points now. And it takes 30 seconds instead of 45. It's still not something I really enjoy doing that much, but as I said, I really want to get to A tier, so I just went ahead and did it. And that's also why I shockwaved onto that guy. Like, there's a lot I was trying to explain, but I didn't want him to like capture the point, because then I miss out on those points and I miss getting to A tier really quick. And I want A tier for the bunker and also this drop, because mobility, as I was just saying, was a struggle. Getting that drop gives you 2 guaranteed shocks, which is not an absurd amount. It's not like, let's go, I'm set for mobility for the remainder of the game, but it's still something that's really nice to have early on in the match. And so now I want to go to that bunker that's on the far right side of the map. I'm looking for a car. It doesn't seem like there's any here. And with the drones being very good, like you saw how much loot I got from the drones there, they also recently increased the amount of points you get from them. So you now get 80 points for killing the drones, which is not a ridiculous amount of points, but for the difficulty and time it takes to kill the drones, it's definitely nice. Look, nice, 80 points, and we get all that loot if I wanted it, but I care more about just getting to this bunker as fast as I can. Like, that's something that can help you in the early game landing there. I don't know how many drones I killed, but probably like 4. That's like 320 points. That's not bad. That's like a kill. It's more than a C tier kill. This is a real player because they have this hired NPC in their car. I kind of want to just leave them be for now. If they were going to the bunker, obviously I would fight them. But if they want to go up to that headquarters, like, they can do that. I don't want to like worry about fighting them and then miss out on the loot in this bunker. I'm hoping to get more mobility from here. And then also an exotic. That's good. And then also a Rekka revolver. I still do like having... Hello? Am I not allowed in? I still do like having pump and revolver. If I don't have the exotic revolver. Nice, we got the exotic OXR, which is probably my favorite exotic. It's between this and the exotic revolver. The exotic revolver is really nice with that faster hipfire rate. You don't need to really worry about running an additional shotgun. But with the removal of the double jump medallion, I feel like that just like, you know, jump and slide around and just spam out like a bunch of revolver shots as fast as you can. I feel like that playstyle isn't as good as it was before. Like, it's still solid, don't get me wrong, but I feel like that kind of spammy revolver playstyle benefited a lot from the double jump medallion being in the game and the slide medallion being in the game. Just a lot of mobility. The other bunker is on the far right side of the map. I don't think I'd be able to get to that. If it was down here, I would probably go for it. But I guess I'll just go for these shots. And this is like one of the changes that I feel like throws a lot of people off with the removal of the medallions is there's just less to do on the map now. Like before, you kind of got to this point once you had, you know, opened the bunker and gotten both medallions. But now it happens pretty early in the game where like there's not as many objectives to go for. It's not decisions that have already been made for you. And I feel like that's what some people really struggle with. Is that when we have like a bunch of objectives, you don't have to really think about what you're doing during the course of the game as much, because it's just like, okay, I go here and then I go get this medallion and I go get that medallion, and then like maybe island is spawning. Obviously that's not a part of this season, but for like the past year or so, 2 years, I feel like a lot of people's, like, the game has kind of been on rails in terms of the objectives really dictating what you want to do throughout the course of the game. But now it's a lot more open, and I think some people really like that and some people really dislike that. Someone's drop just came in. I think they're a bot though. I'm pretty sure that was a B tier drop because it was blue. And yeah, like most decent players are probably B tier by now. This bunker did get open, so I'm thinking that maybe the high player went over there. I didn't see when it got open though, but it wasn't opened yet when I was at my bunker because it still had like the A on it on the map, and that's how you know it's not opened yet. But I would like to kill this person and get the mythic revolver if I could. But like the longer it's been since the bunker has been open, the less relevant that information is. Fighting over here and a crown on the ground, so I guess I'll just go for this. So it's fighting behind me as well, but the fact that this crown is marked, I know exactly where it is. Like, more of a guarantee I'll find this person. Multiple people here though, because this is always like the hottest location on the map. And this exotic OXR gets boosted damage for shots you hit on players, up to the point where you're doing 55 body damage. He's dead. But it made it to where once I got shots on this guy, I knew I could just like melt the other one really quickly if his back was still to me. It doesn't count like the car damage though, unfortunately. If I blow the car up and the car does damage to him, for some reason that counts, but you have to actually hit the people. This is always like one of the hottest spots on the map though, so you have to be careful here. And with like a lot of people kind of being lost on what to do, if you do ever feel that way, just coming here, if it's in zone, would probably be a decent play. If you want to find people and just have no idea where to go. I'm gonna shock up to this. I think there's multiple people. I'm like kind of confused right now. Okay, yeah, I was gonna say I think there's somebody at the gas station. There's likely somebody over here too. Even if there wasn't those shots, all the fact that all these bugs are spawning over here made me think there was somebody here. Because there's like bugs that spawn when you get close to them. It's an AI. But with there being like several people over here for sure, I kind of want to just like stick around on the outskirts and see if I can like third party. That's why I just like shockwaved away, is because I thought there were several people here and I didn't want to just be the one like caught in the middle. I could just like leave. No, I don't want to be on this, man. I was gonna say I could just leave, but I want like the extra shockwaves that are here. This exotic OXR kills so quick, so if I get any opportunity to catch timing on somebody, we can just like melt them. This guy's just full playing off the rockets, which is definitely dangerous and a lot harder to deal with now that double jump is gone. I don't know where he went. Might have wrapped around the other side. That's broke shield, I think. The other one's here. Again, just trying to get them to fight so I don't get third-partied. But it's like, okay, thank you. It's like so weird the way that this has played out. He's right here. I don't think he's going to expect this. Walk right through the wall. Like having such a hard time hitting him. He's such an awkward player for me. I don't know why. Like pretty much everything that was happening there was not what I expected. Even down to them just both being like in the building together for like I don't even know how long. But it works out, I guess. But the whole reason I was still here is just because I wanted to pick up the extra shockwaves. And I think I come away with less shockwaves than I would have had if I just left anyways. Unfortunately. I don't think these S tier have a chance to give shocks. That is like one change that I think would be really good with the removal of the shockwave launcher. If they just made it to where every OXR drop had guaranteed shockwaves, I think that would make the game a lot better. But it's also one of those things that's like maybe a temporary problem because they're going to add more items throughout the course of the season. And we already know there will be more mobility items coming. So it's like right now it feels like there's very little mobility, but that's something that potentially gets better over time. But I think a lot of people would have over chased the player head weak. So I like fried that guy on the roof and then chalked onto him and I hit him with the revolver for kind of an insignificant amount of damage. I think a lot of people would have been like very motivated to get that kill, but because I knew the other player was there, I just kind of backed off and let them fight. Because that one weak player can go. I'd rather just like miss out on that kill than be the one getting third-partied. Especially with him running into the house. If he didn't run in the house, then I probably would have killed him, but it seemed like they were both just in the house for like a long time with each other. Like being over aggro there. Could have definitely costed. I like marking this because when somebody opens it, it disappears from your map. And there could be a situation where like I'm heading over there and someone opens it and then I didn't know exactly where it was, you know? Because even if somebody else opens it, I would like to go eliminate them. Shots over here, but it might be AI. But this will give me legendary slurps, which would be very nice. That should be somebody that's like okay-ish. Yeah, someone opened the big drop. Oh, that is the drop. I'm stupid. Okay, I was gonna say he's decent because he got an S drop, but that was like the rift pod. I'm actually dumb. One thing that's weird about this exotic OXR is you can actually farm damage on other people's bunkers. So it like, you see the effect on the barrel? That means I have the improved damage. And for some reason, shooting enemy bunkers counts as hits. And I believe in build mode, just shooting enemy builds counts as hits. And so if there was an enemy playing on that bunker, I could just keep my weapon like fully leveled up, like ready for him to peek. But I think that bunker is placed by the one that got the drop. I missed out on the hero points from getting that. I was going to say if I get that, then I can maybe get S+, because you get a good amount of points from getting it. But it's like S+ isn't something that matters to me very much. Kind of matters to me more now with the removal of the medallions. Like getting that unlimited sprint would be nice. But so frequently, by the time you get it, the game is just over anyways. Like right now, there's 4 enemies left. And with how Fortnite matches go, if you're someone who's, you know, aggressive throughout the course of the game and gets a decent amount of kills, like 13, it's not even a lot, but most of the time, if you're active throughout the course of the game, you get a lot of AI in the end. Like, the reason why the zone is this large and there's only 3 people remaining is because like I went out and got several kills, and probably some of the players that I eliminated around the mid-map area also were like aggro. And so that's another reason why I feel like S plus just doesn't matter, because it requires so many kills typically that like sheer nature of getting it, you probably already won the game. Or there's like not very many, if any, like threatening players left. You gotta be careful driving around though. Cars, I care more about with the removal of the medallions. Like I want one more. I wasn't really using cars that much this season, but you have to be very careful because of the Swarm Strike rocket launcher. Miss timing and you can just like full lose to that. I feel like with like chapter 5 and the start of chapter 6, like you could play to like take a lot of space with your car because like people couldn't damage you as easily when you're in the car. But I feel like now you can't just like take space with the car whenever you want. Like, you have to use it a bit more intelligently. This guy's quite weak. I don't know where he went though. My guess would be somewhere down there. I should have shocked onto him when he's behind that, but I thought it was like just kind of 50-50. I thought I broke his shield, but I wasn't sure. Because the way the weapon noise sounds, I feel like sometimes I like think the effect of this exotic is like shield break when it's not. And shockwaves on this body. I would think that he would have wanted to come back here for this loot because I made him waste mobility and heals. But like checking these bushes like this with the car, I feel like is so dangerous with the Swarm Strike in the game. There's an enemy in front of me. I think it's fake though. Oh no, it's not. He's gonna shock away, I think, but oh dang, that's actually so unfortunate. He tried to crash pad here, but I think he hit the tree, and so he just went nowhere instead. Now it's a 1v1. The final player's in a car over here. Just spray their car and then shock on him. Never mind. They're chasing the car of our own. This exotic is so busted. 240 damage there because he got stuck. He bunkers, but yeah, it's not going to matter. But he's going to run into it. 240 damage is so insurmountable. He needed to just like crash pad away. But that is going to be it for this video. That was without hitting headshots, I think. Like the exotic just melts. But that is going to be it for this video. As always, if you guys did find this to be helpful, informative, or interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more. Let me know what you guys think of the medallions being removed. I'm kind of 50-50 on it. I'm a pretty big medallion hater ever since they were added. I thought the game would just be better without them. But I feel like this season has had a very drastic pacing difference with the medallions being removed. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more. Now we'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.